Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine is up for re-election, and she is in trouble. Back in October 2018, after Collins provided a crucial vote for Trump Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, progressives and opponents of the new justice vowed to make her pay, and it looks like it might be working. In the beginning of 2017, Collins was one of the most popular senators in the entire country, a net approval of more than 40%. By the end of last year, her net approval sat at negative 10%. An enormous shift. She is now the most unpopular senator in the country, with a disapproval rating even higher than Mitch McConnell. And she's being outraised by her Democratic challenger, Sarah Gideon, the Speaker of the Maine State House. Gideon raked in more than $9 million this past quarter alone, almost triple the amount Collins raised in the same period of time. And then a recent poll from Maine's Colby College shows Collins 5 points behind Gideon. And now Collins is facing harsh political ads from the Lincoln Project.
Great independent leaders rise from Maine's hard soil. Always have and always will. Take Margaret Chase Smith. When the men in the Senate were terrified of Joseph McCarthy, she called him out. Just like Susan Collins stands up to Donald Trump. Oh, wait. Susan Collins never stands up to Donald Trump. She makes excuses for corruption, for criminality, for cruelty, all while pretending she's worried, concerned, hoping Donald Trump learns a lesson this time. He never does, and Maine deserves a leader, not a Trump stooge.
Joining me now, Rebecca Tracer, her writer at Large for New York Magazine. She spent a good part of the last year in Maine writing about Collins, joins me from the senator's home county of Aroostook County, Maine. Rebecca, you have been a kind of Collinsologist for the last year and have been looking at this race ever since that Kavanaugh vote. What's your assessment of where things stand right now?
Well, I mean, the polling shows her down, which is surprising. She has had a history of popularity in this state. Maine has a big history of political independence, and Collins, like many of her forebears, including Olympia Snowe and Margaret Chase Smith, for years in the Senate, advertised her bipartisan credentials, her willingness to listen to both sides, and it kept her very popular in Maine for a long time. And you could see that even in the lead up in August of 2016, she wrote an op-ed saying she wouldn't be voting for Donald Trump. But then once he became president, not only she voted with him, by certain measures earlier this year, as high as 94% of the time. And has repeatedly taken votes on the side of Donald Trump, committing to him and his very hard right Republican politics in a way that has become absolutely apparent to Mainers. And she's still trying to run right now. An ad she put out today said bipartisan and effective. She's still trying to run as a moderate, but I think there's much less willingness to understand her as moderate or politically independent or bipartisan here at this point.
Yeah, I'm curious how much this is so there's the main aspect of this, which is a specific political culture that really values independence, has produced all these kind of interesting politicians who kind of straddle different lines. There's also just the macro factors of our politics. I mean, it strikes me she's up against something not that dissimilar from what Claire McCaskill in Missouri was up against, which is it's harder and harder to represent statewide a state that is voting for the other party as much as Maine is now.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I mean, this is one of the dynamics that is one of the things I find very interesting right now in Aroostook County, which is her home base, a very right-leaning rural northern county in Maine. And I've been here since early June this summer, is I see Trump signs everywhere. And you can't learn too much from signage except a little bit about where the enthusiasm lies. I see no Collins signs. I have heard no energy around Susan Collins' race, which also tells me that even the hard conservatives here aren't seeing this as a crucial Senate race, when, of course, we know it very much is a crucial Senate race. And absolutely, the balance of the Senate could wind up hanging on Maine, as well as several other states where there are important Senate races.
Well, what's so fascinating about that is that this is the hard lesson so many Republicans have learned, right? Which is that whatever Trump is able to pull off sort of in spite of the odds it's not communicable. It didn't work for the handpicked guy down in Alabama. It doesn't work for other people. Trump people are Trump people. It's not just because he endorses Susan Collins or she's on the ballot that there's going to be that same feeling about her.
And in fact, some of the pushback that she's gotten, and she's very eager to advertise this, comes from those Trump supporters who, because she does make those noises about being concerned and worried and sometimes censures him even while voting with him consistently, what she gets from many of his most dependent voters and followers, his base, is anger and gets called a rhino or Republican in name only, and she's not sufficiently loyal. So she's created a situation where there is no path for her, and yet she is trying to run for this 5th term.
She's also facing, so she's got an opponent, Sarah Gideon, who won the primary. She's the Speaker of the Maine House. I want to play this ad that's a negative ad, I guess, technically a negative ad that Collins cut against Gideon that I thought was a bizarre negative ad because it seemed like kind of an ad for Gideon. Take a listen to what they just put up on the air. I mean, basically, the ad is like she's got a bunch of positions and she calls them all her priority, which is basically what every politician I've ever interviewed does. But it's a strange ad. It seems like to me like they're grasping a little at straws.
Well, it also outlines all of her stated commitments to do all of these urgent things that she's promising to do for the state of Maine. So inadvertently, they're doing the advertisement for her and all the things that Sarah Gideon says she wants to fix in Maine. The other thing I noticed about that ad is that it uses all this footage of her on Zoom. And that's a campaign dynamic that, of course, is playing heavy all around the country. Sarah Gideon is doing a lot of campaigning via Zoom, via text, via message. She's much more fluent with the technology that is creating the need to do an entirely different kind of campaign. Susan Collins already faced criticism long before the pandemic for not spending as much time as some voters felt she should in her state. Her fellow Senator Angus King tends to be back here a lot more. He's an independent, he caucuses with Democrats. He tends to be back here a lot more. She has faced a lot of criticism for not having town halls, for not talking in free situations with voters where she might be criticized. And what she has in this opponent is this technological challenge. She can't even necessarily come back and easily do the kinds of campaigns or public events or handshaking that she might have otherwise. And Gideon has promised to try to make up for the absence of in-person door knocking and handshaking by doing texts and Zoom and holding town halls and going back and forth. And so far, she's been pretty effective. And that's part of what you're seeing in that ad. Where has she made these promises in conversations with voters that she's having, via computer?